Okay, so hi everyone. I am Andrew. The co-lead for our team. Jenci is currently still not in Canada, so I'll be covering for him in presenting our uh, the current progress in our project. So to recap, our team is attempting to beat this competition that's hosted by the world's first crowdsourced hedge fund. So how it essentially works is that the hedge fund based in San Francisco called Numerai, it provides us with obfuscated financial data that's that are of very high quality that are published in weekly rounds. And our goal is to perform regression on the published data and submit our weekly predictions as a CSV file to the hedge fund. So this is essentially the competition itself. So why would the hedge fund do this? As you know, high quality financial data is very expensive. Well, the reason why the hedge fund is hosting this tournament is that the hedge fund's AI, aka the meta model they call it, takes every participant's prediction as an input and then churns through every participant's submitted CSV weekly predictions and then help the hedge fund to make investment decisions. And in turn, the participants are rewarded with cryptocurrency if their predictions are indeed accurate. And one thing to point out is that the data that the hedge fund publishes is obfuscated. The features are given hashed names, so we don't exactly know what the features are. Otherwise, like we could just use their data set to make our own predictions and make money ourselves, not necessarily work for them. And yeah, so this is the nature of our problem. And essentially, our approach is that our team will attempt to mirror the hedge fund's approach. So we will build our own mini meta model within our team. That was essentially our plan. So yeah, so our hope was that our approach would make our project very horizontally scalable and it could accommodate for a wide range of technical capabilities. So the developer in the recruitment process, we try to recruit for as many developers from as many unique backgrounds as possible. We tailored the Numerai experience to be more of a learning experience than a final result oriented sort of experience. We hope so many of our members, they do not necessarily have previous data science or machine learning experience. So we hope from a project they can learn the entire process of constructing data pipelines and working with machine learning models, learn basic machine learning concepts as well. So yeah, our team comes from a very diverse background, both in terms of capability and their academic background. So to give a more concrete understanding of the sort of machine learning objective, here's a more detailed look at what the weekly published data set looks like. So in summary, first there's a bunch of features that, in fact, like there's thousands of features for each data input, and so as I previously mentioned, each of these features represent some obfuscated financial metric. It could be the GDP of the GDP per quarter GDP growth of certain countries, or it could be the stock price of Apple. But no one really knows what they are. There's more than 1,000 of them, and there's also a time series component of it. So these batches of features they're given in eras. Every era is 1 week, i.e. 5 working days, because the stock market doesn't open on weekends. So yeah, and they don't have explicitly defined feature groups, but some features are more correlated with others, as you can see from the feature matrix over here. And what's also interesting is that across different eras, the number of data points in each era is different across it is different across every era. So that makes the data processing pipeline. So our data processing pipeline needs to be robust to that that feature of our data set. And in terms of target, instead of just predicting one target, so whether a financial asset will rising value or falling value, there are 20 different targets. Again, all 20 targets are some measure of how the financial asset will perform, but the only target that the hedge fund requires us to submit is target NOMI V for 20. So that's the actual target that they want. But all of the auxiliary targets, they have various correlation with the final target that they expect us to submit, and training your model up on these auxiliary targets will be sometimes beneficial to building submodels to our final ensemble meta model. So yeah, so here I will present some of our preliminary results on building our meta model. So initially we had a survey of what so we gave a very high degree of autonomy to our developers. We let them decide what sort of model that they want to build. So initially this is what our model zoo essentially looked like. So in theory, the theory is that the more diverse range of models that we have, the more power the more powerful the final ensemble model will be. But as we progress with our development, we realized this is not necessarily the case. So all the developers who attempted neural network-based models realized that neural network models in general, no matter what architecture you try, tend to perform poorly on the Numerai dataset, and essentially all of our developers, but at the end converge towards a tree-based model, and this is supported by theory. Those of you who are interested in why this phenomenon arises can have a read of this paper. But yeah, our the preliminary result discovered by our team is that it highly coincides with the result of this paper. Essentially, like on the Numerai dataset specifically, neural network-based models doesn't perform as well as decision tree-based models, specifically boosted trees such as XGBoost and LGBMs. So here so that sort of hindered our progress at building large-scale ensemble models, because the pacing of the developers who have attempted various neural network-based models was hindered by the technical problem that I have outlined in the previous slide. But here are some individual results that are very promising. Again, these promising results are all based on tree-based models. So the Numerai hedge fund has recently released their version 4 dataset. But this is this particular graph is of the version 3 dataset. Yeah, so this particular model built by one of our developers has achieved around the 80th percentile in the diagnostic benchmark provided by the hedge fund of all the participants to the tournament. So this is indeed very promising. As we move towards ensembling, we expect this percentile to be to achieve a much higher percentile than of the individual models. And this is our most recent. This is a more recent benchmark of another tree-based model built by another one of our developers. This is on the V4 dataset, and this also in terms of ranking, this particular model also performs on par with the previous model shown. So these are some very promising individual results that we have. They all come from developers who have started out with tree-based models. And in terms of future to-dos, we read up on some more theoretical papers on how to proceed with our project. Despite the fact that neural network-based models does not perform as well on the Numerai dataset directly, what we hope to do in the future is that to have still have all of our developers build tree-based submodels and then we use these submodels as feature encoders into a recurrent neural network based feature decoder to as a means of ensembling our meta model. And according to what we have read, this should not encounter the same issue as using neural networks directly on the Numerai dataset, and should be a fairly in this manner of ensembling our submodels should be a fairly robust way of trying to beat the tournament, essentially. This is because mainly the tree-based models that does not take temporal correlations into account, and if we so across epochs, if we encode features using our tree-based models, we could then build a recurrent architecture that takes the cross epoch temporal correlation into account. And also, as I previously mentioned, we give our developers a high degree of autonomy, but some of our members have graduated, and others have other significant commitments over the summer. So so project management wise, we're definitely looking to recruit more new talent into our team, while also getting in touch with our individual developers who have started out building neural network models, but then like switched to a more tree-based model approach. And yeah, stay tuned for our future works. This is the current state of our project. Now I'll open the floor to questions.